but maybe they put this in for the stubborn player that refuses to give up. Wow, okay, so we can actually break her out without using the table. It's finally here. I'm a little late on the updates because I wanted to play a little bit on my own, but Baldur's Gate 3, after many, many years, is finally here. And I'm not talking about the release from Larian Studios. I'm talking about Baldur's Gate 3 in general. See, I grew up with Baldur's Gate, and I've been waiting for another part to the adventure. There was a Siege of, I think it was Dragon Keep or whatever it was called. I didn't really play that one. I got it, didn't play it. The reason why? It was full of bugs. Way, way, way too many bugs. But the actual gameplay itself, it seemed okay. We're not going to talk about all that stuff because that's not important. You're here for Baldur's Gate 3, and I'm going to do Baldur's Gate 3. Now, the game I'm doing on my own time is The Dark Urge. I didn't know what to expect with that, so I didn't know how much I could actually show on YouTube without it getting gated, because some of the stuff is extremely violent, and I'm kind of glad I didn't show it for spoiler reasons. So this game, we're actually going to pick an origin character, and I'm thinking about going into Tactician mode. I like the difficulty. Now, I say that now, I'm going to be raging a lot because of this. In this one, we're actually going to be playing as Karlach. This is a character that we were not able to play as, because before we would run into her, she would say, hi, go fight these guys, and then whenever we did and talked to her again, she's like, okay, well, I'll see you in Baldur's Gate 3. It's like, okay, sure. And that was it. So we're going to play as her. I am actually tempted, whenever I make her character, to either go a min-maxi barbarian rogue fighter or something like that, or a barbarian bard. So it's a barbarian. I'm thinking about doing that, to be honest, because I find that to be a little funny. There should be a custom like start for all the characters whenever you start now. That wasn't there before. And I'm curious how hers is, because she wasn't even on the ship whenever we found her. Several of the characters weren't even on the ship whenever we found them, but they were technically on the ship. She's supposed to be like a stowaway on the ship, though. So I just wonder how they're going to treat her. She's a little bit of a mystery to me. I do kind of wish they let us customize the characters a little bit more with the appearance. I don't really like her hair, but it's whatever. Alright.
Fuck. That squid really scrambled my brains. At least there are no devils on my tail. My engine's burning hot. Better be careful who I touch.
It's dead. Too bad.
This is the pool that thing came from.
Let's see if we can
The
pass any
parasite
checks at
now
all with this
writhing
character.
behind your eye.
I highly doubt it. I highly doubt we're gonna pass any checks at all, considering how low the stats are. I'm used to playing like a thief who has like all the stats maxed out. Yeah, look at that. Even rolling a 10. If we would have balanced Intout, we would have had this. But it doesn't matter. This check really doesn't matter. It just tells us that this is about to explode. So it's whatever. I'm gonna touch it anyway, because I'm a barbarian and it really does not matter. I think I'm like immune to fire damage too, so we can always check that real quick. Am I immune to the fire damage? Let's run and fire. It appears to be so that's nice, because she's already on fire. I can always check real quick, because I am genuinely curious. Okay, so she has hellish resistance, which just gives her resistance to fire. So, okay, so just resistance, but she should also be outright immune. Oh, and by the way, we have nudity on, and future me is going to have a fun time censoring stuff if anything pops up, so good luck with that. Yeah, good luck, future me. Alright, let's keep going. Yeah, if I had a... We're gonna free this thing, I suppose. It doesn't do anything, I think. Like, I thought if we freed it and whatever, it would eventually come back and help us in the overworld, but I haven't seen it. Come on, let me interact with the body. So yeah, this thing is an intellect devourer. Let's see if my character actually even knows that. Not the body itself, the thing inside of it. Intellect devourers in Dungeons and Dragons are extremely dangerous for low intellect characters.
From this place, you'll free us.
Like, they can just outright kill your
The
character.
exposed brain quivers in expectation.
Please. Before they return. They return.
Alright, why are you so afraid?
Enemy. So many enemies. A newborn. Born new from this husk.
You realize you're talking to an intellect devourer.
How?
A minion of the mind flayers who abducted you.
That was a lucky roll. Okay.
Remove us from this body. From this case. Free us. Please.
Well, since you said please. Oh yeah, that's a good roll right there. That's a nice solid roll.
Apart from this strange context, you notice nothing
Yeah.
unusual about
So
the
let's
brain.
go ahead and break the skull. Alright, finally, one successful save. Or one successful check, I guess. And I'm going to try and not, like, save scum unless it's something really, really important, where it's like, I have to fight key characters. So, this is nothing. This is just a random interaction. Oh yeah, let's burn the skull with our flaming hands.
The brain lifts from the skull, but you notice an opportunity. You could cripple the strange
Dude,
creature.
this skull
making
should
it
be
more
jelly in my hands right
subservient,
now.
Should it prove a threat?
Not the skull, the brain should be like jelly in my hands. A brain is mostly fat, so just catch on fire and go to town on that.
We are free.
Yep.
The creature pauses.
We must go to the helm.
Yep, to the helm, to the helm.
Home, we are needed.
Okay, what should I call you?
Us. We are us.
Alright, let's go.
To the helm we go.
See, anything here to loot besides the body? The body never has anything on it. There used to be a chest up here, but they got rid of it for some reason. I don't know. They changed a lot of stuff in the game from early access. Like, the map layout is completely different, so that's nice. And we have interactions up here that make no sense, that didn't exist before, but they're okay, I suppose. Like, right now we're about to get an interaction. Before we have to jump over a gap here, they just outright bypass that for the cinematic. This is actually supposed to take place further along after you've learned how to jump. It's like part of the tutorial, and instead it's like, nah, here you go.
Abomination. This is your end.
And hello to you too, Lae Zel.
Your head throbs and your skin tingles. Visions rush past. A dragon's wing, a silver sword, and a flash of your face seen through the strange woman's eyes.
My head. What is this? Skvar,
It's called a vision.
you are no thrall. Vlaakith blesses me this day. Together, we might survive.
Okay. And what made you think I was a thrall?
We carry mind flayer parasites. Unless we escape, unless we are cleansed, our bodies and minds will be tainted and twisted. Within days, we will be Geich, mind flayers.
Alright. So we're turning into mind flayers. There must be something we can do.
We can do nothing until we escape. That must be our priority.
Oh, by the way,
First,
I'm selecting the buttons
exterminate
because I don't want to
beacons.
sit
Then
something.
we find the helm and take control of the ship. As for that thing, it will remain tame as long as it believes we are thralls.
Okay, I thought the
It may be
cinematic
of
was over.
use in the fight to come.
Anyway, I was saying I'm selecting the buttons because I don't want to accidentally select the wrong thing. Otherwise, I'd be doing 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to make sure that I'm actually clicking the right thing. Now, there's no right and wrong answers with this for the most part. Play the way that you want to play, and every adventure is going to be different. There are some people that want to have a best ending, and honestly, I don't think this is the type of game that there is a best ending. Wow, that's it? this entire area's changed. Before there was like multiple pillars and all that stuff, and it kind of told you how to interact with stealth mechanics and such. But in this, it's like, nah, you just go here.
One more dragon blast, and this thing's falling straight into the
Okay,
hells.
go ahead and pick this up.
Over my dead body.
Yeah, it's not that important. That's wares. That's wares. Pick up money.
What is it?
Now, we could equip one of those crossbows, but I'm not gonna. I'd prefer to have a bow, to be honest. Of course, I don't think she's actually proficient in short bows. She's a barbarian, and they like to get into combats. So it actually might be better not to have a ranged weapon on her and just go in. Maybe a ranged weapon just as a backup, but nothing too important. And here's the choice. We can either help Shadowheart or we can leave her. I'm actually thinking about just leaving her.
Touch nothing without knowing its purpose.
Thinking is not doing. So let me take this. Let me...
Faint images appear in your mind. A brain, a Githyanki warrior, and centuries of darkness.
I think these explode if you throw them. But it's not that important. We'll be right back for her. The reason why I was thinking about just skipping her is because I am not going to go for an illithid playthrough on this. If you were looking for one of those, there are plenty of people who are doing full corruption playthroughs, I'm sure. I'm not doing that. I don't want to use the powers at all.
How many hosts of these
If I can help it.
infected?
See, that's like another game entirely, if you're actually playing with the powers active. This is a sturdy chest. How heavy is it? It's decent. I'm gonna go ahead and pick this chest up, and you'll see why in a moment. It's a little cheesy, but I just want to see if it works, because it used to work. You used to be able to like drop a chest in front of a doorway, and enemies would be like, how do I get in? And they'll start bashing the chest or whatever. And
Dazed
because
woman
it's
is
sturdy,
trapped
some of
inside the
them couldn't
pod.
do enough damage to destroy
She
the
doesn't
chest.
notice you.
So we can turn her into a mind flayer. I'm not gonna. By interacting with the thing over there, there's like a cutscene where it turned her into one. But ultimately, it doesn't matter. I don't think that character shows back up anyway. It's just to show you the effect of mind flayers and such.
Life flickers in his eyes.
Oh, I just
but he
noticed
seems
this.
Totally unaware of
I
his
never noticed this
surroundings.
amulet before. I don't think he had it on in the early access.
Karlach incoming.
Spoiler reasons, they're like the
Lies
bad
are
guys or
dead.
whatever.
But he's totally unresponsive.
Cool. Alright, so let's talk to you. Can I pick this up? So this is like a an explosive barrel or whatever.
You! Get me out of this taxi! We have no time for stragglers.
Lae Zel, shut up. If only we could do that.
This ship is crashing. Do you intend to die for a stranger?
Oh boy, we can actually go for the strength thing. Let's see if this works. I want to see if I can just break the pod open. Because normally you have to interact with the table over there to open it. But maybe they put this in for the stubborn player that refuses to give up. Wow, okay, so we can actually break her out without using the table. Which means we don't even have to accrue the one penalty thing over there.
Thought I was done for.
The illithid thing. That's cool. That's really nice.
I thought that damn thing was going to be my coffin. Thank you.
Yeah, you're
Your
welcome.
mind lurches into her thoughts. Her gratitude is mixed with wariness, because you have a Gith with you.
That's
You
racist.
keep dangerous company.
Yeah, because I look like I'm a very peaceful person.
Fair point. Looks like there's plenty of fighting ahead. Let me come with you. We can get off this ship and watch each other's backs along the way.
Yep, will do.
Shadowheart. One moment.
I was kind of hoping my character would have voice lines, considering they're an origin character. Oh well, it's not a big deal. So what's that?
It's nothing. Trust me.
Enough of this chatter. We need to get to the helm. Now.
Yes, to the helm.
She's right. Lead on.
to the helm. Anyway, you know that there would be a character in an actual campaign that would just be like, I'm gonna open the door. And be like, so are you gonna turn the handle? No, I'm gonna grab the door and I'm gonna rip it off the hinges.
This one's full. No idea what this means.
Because that one time they accidentally touched the door and it turned out to be a
I
mimic.
wonder what the next move is.
Now there is a weapon up here that is really good to get if you're a fighter class, or if you're using Lae Zel. It's a fire greatsword. Now, my issue with it is, they put a timer on this.
We are nearing the helm. Once inside,
Who put you in charge? I'll trust my own judgment.
cane yank.
So they put a timer in place. Before, there was no timer, and you could just get here without any issues and fight the enemy and win the enemy's fight and all that. We're in Tactician mode, meaning things are going to be hard. So odds are I'm not going to be able to beat this thing, and we weren't going to get the weapon. Sorry about that, that's just how it is. I don't really care. The weapon overall is negligible. I used to do this fight just for the XP, but it also seems that, you know, you get enough XP at the end that you level up anyway. So we're going to go through the sphincter and see what happens. Well, it's actually called a sphincter. I was just joking about that because of how it looked. But wow, okay. They literally call the doors sphincters. Cool. Gonna have a little snack up. Imagine having 150 health and getting taken down by little imps.
Brawl. Connect the nerves of the transponder.
Sure.
We must escape. Now.
Yeah, okay.
Do it. We will deal with the Geich after we escape.
Connect the nerves. Nerves! We will connect them.
So there used to be a little trick that you could do too, where you leave the characters in the previous room and you could get like permanent healing.
This thing's falling fast.
So what we're gonna do,
I forever
and that might block the doorway from future things. Now that is a little cheaty, I suppose, but it's whatever. At this point, we're just doing the tutorial. Alright, so they're coming in. I want to see if they can get past the chest, because in previous, like, sessions, they actually couldn't. But now that they're flying, they might be able to just fly over the chest. See, it's got sturdy, meaning if they don't do enough damage, they can't actually get through. Don't miss. Wow. You're so worthless. Okay, yeah, they can just fly right over it. They must have given them fly so they don't have to worry about people blocking them from coming in. This is actually an extremely easy fight. It's just RNG based because you have to deal with that guy, because he's the only one that can really hurt them. Or if you're playing a warlock. Warlocks can also hurt them pretty easily. So go ahead and use the disengage action. It doesn't matter. This entire interaction really does not matter. Let's just go. Yeah, so long as you don't do that too. You might actually. Yep, okay. So they outright killed my character. That sucks. Now, I don't know why my character is fine. It's kind of weird. We're gonna go ahead and activate this, and we'll see what happens, because normally if the character dies, that's game over. Okay, so I went ahead and reloaded because I skipped all those cutscenes and such. It turns out that if your character does die in that interaction, it's fine, because death is not really an important thing unless everyone dies, I suppose. So one other thing we're gonna do is we're not going to stand in front of him. I think we were disabling his, like, cone attack because he didn't want to use it while we were standing right next to the guy. That's my guess. And you need to stun in order to actually beat this thing, because that's the only way that he survives long enough to matter. He takes way too much damage, though. Oh, do you not activate the cinematic? Okay, that's fine.
Alright, Karlach, it's go time.
I guess because you're like a temporary ally. Go ahead and put this on. And that was my entire move by doing that. I should have equipped this before. I wasn't thinking.
Hurry, before they strike.
Just keep on shooting you, I guess. We might get lucky and do like 1 damage, 3 damage, whatever. Who cares? And of course, these guys have spawned. Yeah, so there's some guides telling you that you need to like do this fight. It's required for like the best start. I'm just gonna say that's total BS. I played through the early access multiple times. Like I played through it about 7 times.
Incoming.
7 or 8 times. And I got this weapon almost every time after they added it.
Onward.
Because it wasn't there initially. They added it eventually because people were complaining that they weren't really getting any loot for beating the devils, other than a little bit of XP, but we were like level capped back then. So they added the sword to give you some initiative for fighting them. And you can get it pretty easily if you're playing as a rogue or as a warlock, because you can just spam Eldritch Blast from stealth and such and just have a good time that way. So that's a way to do it. But because these guys spawn so early now, it's a little bit more difficult, because these guys aren't supposed to spawn, well, at least from the early access, they didn't spawn for like 10 turns. So usually this guy would already be defeated by the time they spawn. So there's that. It's not a big deal. Honestly, it really isn't. All the sword does is it's basically a +1 greatsword that's on fire all the time.
Ready.
And if you're not using greatsword, what's the point? Yeah, we could get it. We could get it if we were like in a lower difficulty, but that is way too much health to churn through. We got bad luck on the RNG, and I'm not going to waste more time on this, to be quite honest. It's not that important. It really is not that important. It's just a stupid fiery greatsword. Surprise, surprise, greatswords are useful. A fiery one, not so much.
On I go.
Because in this game, you can use this action right here, the dip action, and that'll just outright set your weapon on fire. Let me go ahead and present. So I'm next to fire. I dip my sword. Oh look, it's a fiery greatsword. Whoop-de-doo, who cares? And this guy's resistant to it, so whatever.
The helm's alien transponder. You've made it in time.
A little smile on her face as she touched it. Let's see if they fix the animations, because before it would spawn you on the beach like already knocked out. That didn't seem to happen. And there's also a glitch where like your character would actually like T-pose through this interaction because of the load times for the map scenes. There are a lot of issues with the load times so far. They already did like a day 1 patch to try and fix a lot of the issues, and so far it looks a little bit smoother. Because normally this is still all like messed up with the rendering. And we actually have interactions this time, so they must have fixed that. It was kind of funny, like your character would straight up T-pose through this, and when they fall out the window, they'll just be T-posing through space. And when they land on the ground, it looks like they're just hovering slowly to the ground with their arms stretched out. It was... I wish I had footage of it, because of how funny it was. So imagine that, but standing upwards and T-posed. Nice. Very nice.
Ye gods! Can it be? I'm...
Infected? No, that's not the one thing. Out of the hells.
For good. Forever. No matter what. No doubt Zariel will be on my trail soon. Think I even spotted one of her hunters on the ship. I'd better get moving.
Alright. Forget the hunter, I'm more afraid of the parasite in my head. Forget the hunter and the parasite, I'm more concerned about the infernal engine burning out. Forget the hunter and the parasite and the engine, I'm going home.
Yes. Yes! Should be able to follow the river straight to Baldur's Gate. Easy. Step 1. Get far away from anything with tentacles. Step 2. Stay
That's no
calm
fun.
and don't burn anything down. Step 3. Find allies who won't mind a friend who spends a lot of time talking to herself. Now, time to march. I've got a life to live. Finally.
Nice. Very nice. Oh, we actually didn't get the levels. Maybe that was a glitch. Yeah, so we're a little bit short. Oh well. I think they counted the enemies on the ship dying, so you get like the levels anyway, but they must have patched that with the day 1
It's a
patch.
pleasant change from rivers of blood.
It's just like 150 XP or whatever. It's entirely negligible in the grand scheme of things. I don't have autosaves turned on, so I'm like quick saving more often. The reason why is autosaves were causing lots of load issues from what I could tell, but that might not be the issue anymore. Go ahead and slap her. Alright, wake her up. So normally I'll just say it, I'm a little bit of a Shar simp.
You're alive.
Love the idea of Shar
I'm
since Baldur's
alive.
Gate 1.
How is this possible?
Yeah, I'd hoping you might know.
I remember the ship. I remember falling. Then nothing.
Okay, what now? Do you have any ideas where we are?
No, I don't recognize this place. But anything's an improvement on where we just came from. First things first, we need supplies, shelter, and most of all, a healer. We might have escaped, but we still have these little monsters in our heads.
Okay. So you want to stay together?
We need each other, and we both know what's at stake. Can't think of better company.
Alright, let's get moving.
One thing, just before we go. I wanted to thank you again for freeing me. It would have been all too easy for you to run right past my pod, but you didn't. I'll remember that.
Okay.
Lead the way.
Alright, so finishing that train of thoughts. Yeah, I was a massive Shar fan in the Baldur's Gate 1. In the Enhanced Edition, when they actually added like the Shadow Monks and all that, that was the only time when I was a little bit iffy about them because they like kind of didn't really do what the Shar normally do, I guess. It's kind of hard to tell. Like there's the priests, then there's the enforcers, and they were kind of like the enforcers or whatever. So it's a little iffy. The TLDR of this, and too long didn't play the game and don't want too many spoilers, I pretty much like romanced Shadowheart every single time I was playing the game in the early access. I'm probably not going to do that here because there are other options now. Oh yeah, examine that note by looking at it. Yeah, this is a note. I think this is a note, guys. Go ahead and take this. I'm going to try and leave looting to a minimum, but I'm a loot fiend. I'm going to loot. I'm going to loot everything. Pick up the thing. There we go. We're going to avoid getting Gale for a little bit, for the sole fact that Gale consumes magical items. He just outright consumes them. In the early access, he only consumed like 2 or 3 magic items, and even that was based on actually finding the items. Now he's just like, he wants to eat items all the time, and it's like, oh, that's a very bad thing to have in a game like this, where magic items are really, really important. Now we can come in here for early loot. I'm thinking about it. But I'm also thinking that this episode's gone on long enough. I want to keep these episodes kind of condensed. So I think I'm just going to wrap it up here. Yeah, I think I am. So we have Karlach here. And she's going to have fun. She's going to have a lot of fun. Well, we only have 9 remaining XP. We can get 9 more XP. Come on, let's get 9 more XP so we level up. I don't mind that much about that. There should be some int devourers up here. Yep, right over there. Now, normally I come in here with a full team. It's just going to be the 2 of us. Let's go ahead and...
I feel like a rosé in a tea shop.
Get a little bit of extra damage. Get that surprise round too.
Can't let these things escape the wreckage.
Oh, resource required, you need to... Okay, that's fair enough. Go ahead and swap to this.
Let's end this.
Now, can you do
Time to
this?
meet your maker.
Not much damage, to be honest. So yeah, they get the surprise round, but it's over already because they had a higher initiative than us. Which is a little BS, to be quite honest. That's not what a surprise round is. They did a lot of damage to her. Wow, that was way too much damage.
Eat it.
Yep, it's free level up. We cannot level up yet. We can level up soon. Go ahead and rage. I should have raged before, but I should be attacked here. Yeah, go ahead and heal yourself. And go for this on you. And just try and get behind cover so they don't do that again. I want them to go after Karlach. And she's raging, so she has, like, resistance to that stuff. She would have died there if not for that. Go for that. And we can go for a heal. Yeah, normally I have, like, an entire team set up before I do this fight. Because these guys are kind of annoying. Hide behind this. We are in Tactician mode, so why don't we use tactics, right?
Right, well.
Easy.
Perhaps our survival isn't such a distant prospect.
Super easy. So let's go ahead and level up. Little load on the load. Sorry, little long on the load screens. Words, do you use them? Sometimes, but not well. Okay, so we have danger sense from this, which gives us advantage on dexterity saving throws against trap spells and surfaces, which is actually really useful. So what I'm thinking about doing is we'll go 3 points into Barbarian, I think, and then we're going to multi-class into a... Where is it? A Rogue? So that we have the sneak attack advantage. Because with her, like, reckless attack or whatever, it will, No, not reckless attack. She has a certain rage thing that gives everyone advantage on melee attacks. So I wonder if that would actually give her advantage. It's like the wolf pack or whatever. The wolf pack rage, where it's like everyone around you gets advantage on certain enemies. Or we might just go ahead and be like, you know what? Barbarian. Why not? Why not go for a Barbarian? I'll have to look it up. I'm gonna see about that, but that's not gonna be until like level 4. So we still have a ways to go before we have to worry about that. But you, I'm going to immediately make you into a monk. Go ahead and go in here. Where is monk? Monk. There we go. Monk. Because I prefer you as a monk. Now that we actually have the option to do that. And that's why I grabbed these robes.
What am I to do?
You're supposed to put these robes on. That's what you're to do. And get rid of this shield. And get rid of this. There you go. Now you're a monk. This is Crim signing out. Next time we're going to go ahead and try and either come down here first or go up here first. We'll have to just see. It's going to be fun.